the most common narrative that people know, and the most common, come and I will make you fishers of men. Some people know about Jesus getting in the boat with Peter and them going out a little bit further after Peter had got done washing his nets all day, and then they gather all the fish, and then he comes back and he says, come and I'll make you fishers of men, and then they drop what they're doing and everybody follows them. So we think that we get to somebody and say, why don't you come to church? And they're supposed to just drop what they're doing and come to church because we said, come and I'll make you fishers of men. And Jesus just went and said, come and I'll make you fishers of men. And they dropped what they were doing. And how come I can't get people to drop what I'm doing? And maybe if I could get the boats full of fish, then they come and listen to me. That's the narrative. That is the myth. And most of that comes from either Mark 4:18 through 22 or Matthew 4:18 through 22, Mark 1:16 through 20. Both of those had the passages. Jesus walked beside the Sea of Galilee. He saw Simon and his brother Andrew casting nets into the lake, for they were fishermen. Come and follow me, Jesus said, and I will make you fishers of men. And at once they left and followed him. When he had gone a little further, he saw James, son of Zebedee, and his brother John in the boat preparing their nets. Without delay, he called them. They left their father Zebedee in the boat with the hired men and followed him. It's easy. And has it been that simple for anybody else? So, there's two problems with this myth. One, Jesus only called 4 of the 12 that way. And 2, Mark doesn't give us the whole story. Neither does Matthew. So, in the story that we just recounted, remember Jesus had 12. That's only 4 of them. That we had this, go and I'll make you fishers of men. The second thing is, that's not the whole story. That's Mark. And then Matthew borrowed from Mark and kept his same narrative. But Mark was not telling the story of the disciples. He was telling the story of Jesus, so the details of how the disciples got called wasn't entirely relevant, but we do have 2 other books that we can draw from. There's still the narratives of Luke and John, both who tell a little bit more of the story. And so if we were to come up with a composite, take Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, put a narrative together about how Jesus called these 4, this is how it would go. And this is the Mike Armour translation of this. 2 days after the baptism of Jesus Christ. We started there, right? So 2 days after the baptism of Jesus Christ, John the Baptist was out with 2 of his disciples as Jesus was passing by. John declared to these 2 disciples that Jesus was the Messiah about whom he had been preaching. John's out, 2 disciples. I just baptized that dude 2 days ago, and he's the Messiah. He's the one I've been telling y'all about. The 2 disciples went and met Jesus, who invited them to his lodging near Galilee. One of these men was Andrew, who was the brother of Simon. Andrew tells his brother about this encounter with this so-called Messiah that his rabbi had been telling him about, or told him about. So Simon and Andrew go out and meet Jesus themselves. Jesus decides he's going to call Simon Brick, or Peter. I like brick better than rock, because I'm the one telling the story. But he calls him Peter, or rock, which fits perfectly with the way Peter goes about in Acts, but that's how they meet him.